today's headlines, prerequisites for alert focus on booster shots, high-vaxxed regions urged. Pay poll taxes or face fines. Marginalized tap for Northern Samar reforestation. AirAsia warns fraud job offers. Sincere MSME platforms commended. Taiwan to announce shortened quarantine for visitors. Putin orders Russian troops into Ukraine. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista, and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is February 23, 2022, and these are the latest news of this Wednesday morning. As the nation prepares for the new normal, the government added a new requirement for an area before it can be de-escalated to Alert Level 1. Health Francisco Duque III said a local government unit should vaccinate at least 80% of senior citizens and persons with comorbidities before it can shift to Alert Level 1. He noted that the new metric would be helpful for the government in assessing what areas can shift to Alert Level 1 or the most relaxed alert level in the 5-tier system set by the government. Currently, Metro Manila and several areas under Alert Level 2 are the second lowest alert level classification from 15 to 28 of February. Meanwhile, vaccine shark Carlito Galvez Jr. reported that more than 62.5 million Filipinos are now fully vaccinated, still far from the 90 million vaccination target by the end of June. In order to reach the target, Galvez said the government is now considering house-to-house vaccination to increase the daily output. He added that the Vaccination Operations Center Department of Health has already tapped a focal person per region to lead and achieve at least 70% coverage of their eligible population. Regions with high vaccination coverage should shift its focus on administering COVID-19 booster shots, vaccine shark Carlito Galvez Jr. said Monday night. In the weekly tape Talk to the People of President Rodrigo Duterte, Galvez said there are now 12 regions with high vaccination coverage that need to prioritize giving booster shots. He said we need to direct the 12 regions with high coverage to shift their focus to administering the boosters. These are the National Capital Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Cordillera Administrative Region, Calabarzon, and Western Visayas. Davao Region, Zamboanga Peninsula, Eastern Visayas, and Central Visayas have also high vaccination coverage. The official said he is considering tapping pharmacies and medical clinics in these regions to facilitate the administration of COVID-19 vaccine booster shots. The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, reminded political parties and party list organizations, as well as candidates in the May elections, to comply with poll-regulated tax regulations or face fines under the tax code. BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay signed and released Revenue Memorandum 22-2022 on Tuesday, mandating the registration of election participants with the Bureau, the reissuance of official receipts, and the withholding of taxes. The registration of political parties or party list groups shall be made with the Revenue District Office or RDO, having jurisdiction over their head office or principal office, the BIR said. The parties must register or update the registration with the BIR for those previously registered as withholding agents pursuant to Revenue Regulation 8/2009, it added. The candidates, on the other hand, must register with the RDO that has jurisdiction over the political subdivision where they are seeking election, or if that is not possible, with the RDO that has jurisdiction over their principal residence or registered principal office address, whichever is relevant. Individual campaign contributors shall be registered under Executive Order 98 as taxpayers with the RDO having jurisdiction over their residences. Non-individual campaign contributors must register with the RDO in charge of their principal place of operation or headquarters, the BIR memorandum ordered. The BIR said candidates and treasurers of the political parties or party list groups shall submit a statement of contributions and expenditures to the Commission on Elections and the RDO where the candidates or political parties or party list groups are registered within 30 days after the election. Income payments made by political candidates and political parties or party list groups on their purchases of goods and services shall be subject to the 5% creditable withholding tax. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Si Harry Roque ang pinakamagaling na spokesman, kaya inggit sa kanya ang oposisyon.
Tama lang na ipinaglaban ko ang balik trabaho para bumalik ang kita ng mga nagtatrabaho at naghahanap buhay. Hindi pwedeng magutom ang pamilya. Dapat lang po ingat buhay para sa hanap buhay. Basta trabaho, kita at hanap buhay ang nakataya. Nasa harap niyo po ako.
Ibigay natin ang tudong suporta kay Harry.
Fun and inspiring na kwentuhan? Sagot na yan ang programang Spotlight ng Daily Tribune. Makipagkwentuhan at kilalanin ng iba't ibang personalidad na kilala sa kani-kanilang larangan. Manood at makinig sa mga inspiring stories na kanilang ibabahagi kasama si Nina Ventura at Jojo Silvestre. Be ready ng mamangha at matuwa every Thursday alas 2 ng hapon dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Mga katribu, tara na't makiisa at matuto sa mga public service programs hatid ng Kalingang Katribu. Tuwing Lunes, nandyan ang usapang business na magbibigay tips at inspirasyon sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs kasama si Vernon Velasco. Tuwing Miyerkules, usapang pangkalusugan naman ang tatalakayin ni Miss Cory Quirino sa Health and Wellness. At tuwing Biyernes naman, kung legal advice ang kailangan mo, sagot ka na ng Legal Diaries kasama si Elmer Navarro Manuel at mga guest lawyers. Lahat ng yan mapapanood tuwing alas 3:30 ng hapon sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. In other news, in line with the government's enhanced national greening program, the Community Environment and Natural Resources Office, or CNRO, in Northern Samar forged partnerships with 31 poor families in 2 villages of San Roque Town in Tacloban City to plant trees in 220 hectares of land. Pambuhan Town Senro Conversation and the Development Section Chief Dennis Arino disclosed that for the last 3 years, identified family beneficiaries in Ginagdanan and Pagasangan villages are tasked to establish nurseries, plant trees, and take care of them for a contract price of 5.72 million pesos. He added that the families are expected to set up nurseries by June 2022, plant seedlings in the 3rd quarter of the year, and start the maintenance by October. Arino said in an online interview that they help people understand that they are the first to benefit from the reforestation activity. They have to engage people on the ground since they are knowledgeable of the situation and are in a better position to successfully implement the project. At least 15% of their total mobilization fund will be released as soon as the agreement is notarized, and succeeding payments will be released corresponding to the contracted family's performance and their plantation survival rate of at least 85%, according to the official. The biggest area assigned to a family is 10 hectares, and they can earn up to 260,000 pesos for 3 years. AirAsia Philippines has warned the public not to entertain various job offerings through text messages and bogus email addresses from people who identify themselves as AirAsia Philippines employees. This comes after reports of fraudulent activities through different social media platforms surfaced that was announcing job offerings supposedly coming from AirAsia's super app. The airline noted that most of the victims were from the provinces of Visayas and Mindanao, who have very limited opportunities in verifying the legitimacy of such offers. AirAsia Philippines spokesperson Steve Dailisan stressed that legitimate AirAsia job openings are made available through the airline's official website and its other verified recruitment portals. He added that interviews and processing of requirements are also facilitated either online or at the AirAsia Red Point headquarters in Manila at no cost to any potential candidate. Dailisan said that they do not tolerate fraudulent acts and they trust that the government authorities will look into the welfare of the victims. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion sees the platforms of former Senator Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Maria Leonor Leni Robredo as concrete plans to uplift the pandemic-battered micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSME. While expressing appreciation that the two presidential bets have laid their plans on how to alleviate the dire plight of MSME, which makes up 99.5% of businesses and generating millions of jobs for Filipinos, he clarified that these pronouncements do not mean that he is endorsing their candidacies. Judging from the platforms they have presented on Go Negocios Canada Talks Forum, both of them understand and prioritize the development of the name sector, or the MSME sector rather, he said. In particular, Concepcion underlined Bongbong and Leni's plans for helping MSME gain easier access to the needed business capital to start anew. Further, he explained that because of the majority of businesses in the country are small businesses, the return to health will be crucial in the Philippines' economic recovery, as big corporations were able to weather the pandemic. And while the Philippines is slowly opening up and loosening restrictions, Concepcion highlighted that many MSME will have difficulty recapitalizing their businesses. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Oh, vaccination, isolation. Gotta keep up with my nutrition. Gotta maintain my body condition. Then I can take my vaccination. What do I choose? What do I take? As long as it is not a fake. AstraZeneca, Moderna, BioNTech, even Sinovac, okay na. Babakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination, babakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM. Non-stop showbiz update ba ang hanap nyo? Sagot na yan ang aming Tribune Extra. Balitang entertainment at lifestyle, mapalocal man o international, meron kami niyan. Manood at makichika na kasama si Kim Sancha, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 5 ng hapon sa Tribune News on Q at separate premiere nito ng alas 7:30 ng gabi. Mapapanood sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. An official announcement on shortening the quarantine for visitors arriving in Taiwan and relaxing border restrictions for business travelers will be made soon, Health and Welfare Minister Chen Shih-chung said Tuesday. The CECC released an outline for the planned measures on Feb 14 that showed the current 14-day quarantine required for all incoming arrivals being shortened to 10 days and business travelers being allowed to enter the country. The CECC did not provide a date as to when the new policies will be implemented, though Chen said at the time that he hoped it could happen between mid-March. Taiwan has banned the entry of all foreign nationals without residency, with few exceptions, since May 19, 2021, following an unprecedented spike in domestic COVID-19 cases in Taiwan. When asked about the issue on Tuesday, Minister of Economic Affairs Wang Meihua said business travelers would be able to apply to enter Taiwan as long as they submit evidence of the business activities they will undertake. The economic travel bubble will still be available to business travelers who come to Taiwan for necessary, urgent, and irreplaceable work, Wang said. Under the bubble policy, travelers are not required to quarantine after arriving in Taiwan, but they must present proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours of boarding a flight to the country, take another self-paid coronavirus test upon arrival, and be transported around in designated vehicles while in Taiwan. President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian troops into two Moscow-backed rebel regions of Ukraine Monday, prompting a furious response from the West, with the United States denouncing the move at the UN Security Council as a pretext for war. After weeks of massing troops around Ukraine, Putin recognized the independence of the former Soviet states' rebel-held Donetsk and Lugansk regions, paving the way for the deployment of a potential invasion force. In an often angry 65-minute televised national address from his office, Putin railed against Ukraine as a failed state and puppet of the West. Putin said it was necessary to take a long overdue decision to immediately recognize the independence of the two regions. In two official decrees, the Russian president instructed his defense ministry to assume the function of peacekeeping in the separatist-held regions. And that wraps up the stories this morning. But before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, AirAsia, Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, Empire East Land Holdings Incorporated, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its vibrant community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.